size. You can accommodate exotics with table space.
Right.
You can control that arc.
Right. You can match your mini painter.
Nice.
So I want one with this and like 7 corks.
Oh, and we sink it in. We sink that in and drop the magnet in a sunk hole, so it's recessed a tiny little bit.
And that'll give it a little extra hold.
Like, so take
Let me close the door.
this first. Lauren, check this out.
Well, the problem with brushes is that they're different heights and they're different widths.
Right, and the ones that are like tic-tac-toe boards that you see everywhere, I don't like them. They feel cheap to me.
Right.
But we take one of the tiles, we pop like a 1/2 inch hole, because it's only going to be like, an inch deep. We pop foam in there.
Donuts.
Foam nuts.
Foam nuts.
Foam donuts. We could use like neoprene, like something really firm.
Mm-hmm.
So then you just need like just the tip, and
That's cool.
it'll hold it in there. And then we could do it as holes, or we could do like a channel. I don't know if I like this or not, but
I like the cross.
right. So it's
sign is smart.
so it's just like this is in the wood, and our foam is in here.
Yeah.
And there's just a little cut.
Yeah, and we could try it. I mean, even if it's just a tiny circle to start with, because the compression should be soft enough to be allowed to get a bigger brush in there.
So what we're talking about today is the mini painter tile system. This is a thing we just kind of came up with yesterday.
Yeah.
Kind of out of the blue, talking about miniatures and the complications of having a spread in front of you, and like, everybody that does minis in here is complaining that it gets so cluttered. Let's create a system of tiles that interlock, and you can...
It's kind of like cocoa tiles for paint.
Yeah, and you can get exactly what you want. So we cut some of these blanks.
These will have magnets on the side, 2 on each side, and you can arrange them on your table depending on the space that you have. And the coolest part is when you turn it around, the polarity of the magnets will still match. So you could do straight lines if you want. If you have a bigger space, do a couple straight runs.
Yeah.
And it'll still work, and you could really arrange it however you like.
Yeah, I like this idea that you could have all your purples on one tile, and this could sit on your shelf, right? So you've got purples, greens, blues, and then when you're going to paint, you go, okay, I want these ones, snap them in there. I want the green ones over here, and you can arrange everything. So the idea is we want to come up with a really good variety of these tiles, right?
And the size has to be right.
I love the arc, the rainbow arc, because we worked on a bunch of different angles here, but I like this setup where you can get 7 as a standard and like just a normal table. But if you get a big setup, I mean, you could have another arc here, you could have
on the outside.
Yep. I like the modularity in that you could go wide. If you had a really wide table,
you straighten the tile
straighten them in, and then you can go, it'll accommodate the space that you have, which is really cool.
Right now we're at about 30 inches on the outside diameter and 22 on the in.
Yep.
And I think that feels good, because when I paint, I have my forearms resting on the table.
You paint like that.
I do. Usually it's a taller table than a coffee table.
If you've got a wide, shallow area, right, then you're into this.
Yeah, you have a long straight line at the top is kind of your base.
So basically we can manipulate this to fit whatever table. If you've got a shorty, and wide, you do it that way.
Changes it to 40 inches, so you added 10 inches of usable space.
Nice.
Just by changing 2 tiles to the flat.
That's cool. And if your space changes, you can add.
Right.
So we standardize them so you can come back later and add as your hobby grows, as you get more paint, as you want more, you have more demanding space.
Right. And I think another thing that I'm really excited about is a mini painter station. So these are the mini painters that we make. This is my personal one. I have 4 on a stand that I built at home, and I put different minis on it. So we thought, removable corks. This one's stuck in there because I gripped it.
Cork.
But we pull the cork out. You have a magnet stand to hold your mini painter, and then we'd fit 5 other corks in there, so I can switch those models out easily.
And then we kind of get into the other tools like the glue and the snips, and like I want to have a good place to set these and store these.
Right.
And really, like, we talked a lot about the options that we have up here. Let marker go. Yeah, and I don't know if it's inset like that.
It should be standing up. You want your glue standing up so it doesn't.
Okay. And like an open one that's just open for general stuff. I like having like a water dish or like a what's it called? A wet palette or something like that.
Yeah, I think wet palette's going to be difficult, but yeah.
Yeah.
The one on the top right is cool. Just a kind of a
Like the corrugated
channels for brushes or files. There's a lot of like weird little files for cleaning up models that you use.
Yeah, I like that. And AJ uses he sprays.
Yeah, an airbrush.
Right. So
Yep.
let's rig something up for an airbrush to set there, like a holder or
Right.
some sort of like. We could source a piece of hardware.
Right.
So it's the airbrush, and some of them have those pots, right? So we could do
A cleaning pot.
the cleaning
there.
pot, and then a separate thing that holds the
Has a stand.
stand up. So
Yep.
then you've got the whole airbrush. You can pull it out, put it where you want it in your setup.
A lot of people airbrush right at the same station
Yeah.
that they paint at.
Oh, that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
We have the big ones in the options, the small ones in the options, a combo
Right.
of both of them. That takes care of all our paints, and then we get into like I want to source like a water dish. This is not the right one.
Yeah, it's a little small.
It's a little small, but we can source one in there, and then think about this. You add the donut holes, so you've got a station with your water and 6 brushes straight.
6 brushes hold up.
Ah,
That's
killer.
good. It's good for clean water. I would need a bigger one to clean my brush.
Yeah, sure.
Is there an option that we have kind of a long tile as kind of the main dashboard?
We could. I don't. It's restrictive.
It sucks because it takes away the malleably of it all.
I like
Very
this.
cool.
This is a good idea.
I like it a lot.
I think it's sweet.
We've been wanting to do something for minis. It's a big part of the hobby for me. It's just hard to do because you have so many.
So hit us up. Tell us what you want to see in the comments or whatever this ends up going.
Yeah.
Or
Text
reach out
us.
to us.
Text us.
Send 1-800-dogmight.xxx.com.
Yeah, that's it.
.dognet.might. So we'll get back at you with some designs when we have them.
Yeah, let's get these cut.
Boom. Let's go.